A couple of the other issues with Phoenix was that I think while I liked a lot of the changes when I was designing them and planning through them, they ended up not being quite as good actually implemented into the game as I had hoped. Two big examples are purchasing skills and experience at the little garden of, I can't remember what it's called. It was in Slybrook, but you were able to go there and basically trade your crystal coins in for skill ups, level ups in mass, and you could do it, 100 times if you had 100 CC, and it would just blow through your CC, raise all your stats real quick. And it was cool because for a high level character, you don't really want to sit there and train for 14 hours just to get one skill up. And I understand that. I did that on Tibia for years back when I played. I think I started in 2001, and I remember we would sit outside the guild hall, Snake Tower outside of Thias, and we just sit there with like 2 sorcerers with 2 monks each and like 4 knights and a couple paladins, and we'd all be sitting there, and one guy would occasionally go and kill wolves and bring back food and stuff, and we'd just be making runes, and we'd do this for like 10 hours a day. And that was ridiculous. That's retarded, and nobody wants to do that. So I thought, oh, the skill thing, this is real cool, because high levels can, raise up their skills by doing engaging and fun things like hunting. The problem was basically low levels would also do the same thing, and even if I restricted it by level or by rank, you would still get to a point where you hit that level or rank, and then suddenly you have 300 crystal coins to spend, and you just drop it all on axe, and suddenly your axe goes up 50 points or something like that, which is fun, but at the same time it really kind of cheapens the game and trivializes a lot of content, because now all of a sudden you've hit this threshold where suddenly your character just doubled in power, and now you're two-shotting, epic dragon lords and stuff like that. Maybe not quite that bad, but the other big problem was the rank system in general. Ranking in Rebirth is awesome. I love the concept, and it's going to be in SolusOT Reborn. The big problem with it is that I had every rank equal to every other rank. Basically, when you would rank up, it would deduct 50 million experience and grant you 1 rank. Or if you had 100 million experience, it would deduct all of that and grant you 2 ranks. The problem was that cost never ever scaled. So no matter if it was rank 1 or rank 50, it all cost the same amount of experience, but the experience became easier and easier to get the higher the level and rank you were, because of how much more damage you would get. And that's why, the first 10 ranks of the game would take forever, and then the next 40 would take a quarter of that amount of time, because you would blow through all the monsters no problem, and you'd just be raking in experience so fast. It got to a point where some players were actually able to gain more experience in an hour than it would take to get like 7 or 8 ranks. And that's pretty quick. And that's not a high level character. That's actually, on like a rank 35 just in some of the spawns. And so really it allowed you to cap out that rank thing so fast, and I just don't think it was very good for the game, because the power, you would just gain power so quickly. And when I originally made Phoenix, it didn't have these ranks in there, and I did all this mapping work for all these like dozens and dozens of areas, hunting grounds for characters from level 1 to about level 250. So there's this huge amount of map out there for all these leveling grounds. But what would happen is players would blaze through those levels, and then they would start the ranking process, and all that content would be completely worthless for the rest of the game. If you look at some of the characters made in the last year, 2011, you can look on the high scores for Phoenix and see, sort it by 2011 and greater. You can see some of those characters. Some of them are level 3 or rank level 1100 max level, and they'll have like 6 quests completed, and they'll be like Pits of Inferno, Infernal Invasion, stuff like that, the important quests. They won't have gotten any of the other quests. They won't even have the Dragon Ham quest in some cases. It's a freaking box in the Nartar temple, and they don't have these quests because the quest was completely irrelevant. They were like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, send 100 CC from my alt and send it over to this guy, and he's just gonna like blow through the levels and the skills, max out real quick, and it really trivialized too much of the game, I think, because I had all this awesome content designed, but nobody actually used it. My girlfriend's calling me while I'm recording video. Hi, baby. You're on video. Because I'm recording a SolusOT video right now, and you called.
I was going to see if you're hungry because I'm on my way back.
Ah, hungry. I am, in fact, hungry.
Alrighty then. Well, I will let you get to your SolusOT video, and then we can go get food.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
All right, bye. So anyways, what in the world was I even talking about? I don't even know. Something about SolusOT, I'm sure of it. Anyways, yeah, it trivialized all this content. And that's terrible, because I spent, I don't know, hundreds of hours mapping out all this stuff and adding these cool quests and stuff, and now it's all just worthless. So what I decided for Reborn is that I'm going to keep the ranking system in, but I'm going to drastically revamp how much it increases your power and how you actually gain additional ranks. I might start it off at 50 million experience for the first rank. I'm not sure. That amount is going to increase every rank, just like leveling up would. So you could get maybe, for 50 million experience, you'll get 1 rank, but the second rank will take 110 million experience. Excuse me. The second rank would take like 55 million experience, or 60 million for a total of 110 million for 2 ranks. The third might take, you know, 70 million experience or something like that. Basically, that is going to scale upward just like level does. And what that's going to allow us to do is we're actually planning on keeping this server uncapped. I don't want players to run out of levels to gain, because while it is interesting to have a nice like maximum level to do vocation balancing and stuff for PvP, I don't think it's really the benefits don't necessarily outweigh the negatives. Players always want to keep gaining more levels. They always want to keep increasing their power, and so I want to allow that still. We are toying with the idea of making a level cap that automatically raises itself once, say, 20 players reach the level cap. And that would allow us to still have that cap, that threshold, where everybody can be equal for a little period of time. And then once enough people reach that, then it raises the cap. And it also prevents the problem on Tibia where you have like account sharing or excessive botting or something like that, that just propels you way beyond all the other players. And so you've got these 3 dudes that are like level 560, and then the next highest dude is like 380. And you're like, how does this even happen? I don't understand. So I don't really want that to happen on SolusOT. While it's exciting for that one dude, it's really demoralizing for everybody else, because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to catch this guy. Not only am I, you know, 130 levels below him, but he's raking in cash 7 times faster than I am because of the hunts that he can go on that I can't. So I want to allow things to be uncapped in the greater sense, but we are toying with this idea of, you know, an auto cap that kind of raises itself over time. So I think I'm going to wrap up this video for right this second. There's a lot more that I want to discuss and that I want to go over. I'm really excited for the OT, and I think we're going to be able to do some really awesome stuff. But I hope this just kind of gives you an overview of what I thought went wrong with Phoenix and how I'm going to fix that. I really want to make this new OT a really engaging and interesting place to be. I want the quests to be unique. I want them to be exciting. Just by walking through the opening area, you saw where you're leaving the monastery and you're going through this like plain that's on fire with this forest. And you go down into the ruins, and as you're walking along, it's displaying the storyline from Phoenix. And you walk on certain things are getting summoned, you have to fight things. I thought that was really kind of cool. GM Eventide did that for us. I did some of the scripting, he did all of the mapping, he did the entire storyline writing, and I thought that whole thing was really neat. And I'd like to do stuff like that, but I'd like to take it even further than that. I'd like to make things really interesting. A lot of players really enjoyed the quest style that we had on the old OT. We had a lot of mysteries, secret places, hidden things to find, and I definitely want to keep that alive and make it even more engaging and interesting this time around. So that's all for now, guys. Once again, I'm Politrite, also known as Solus, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy.